Alright, now we find ourselves back in Didi's room, and she's just chilling on the bed, so let's go say hi.
It's you! Where have you been? Did you know the circus is in town? It's Daddy's circus. He says it's gonna be the biggest thing ever! Except he always says stuff like that, and then something goes wrong. And Vincenzo's my real daddy. We have to go talk to him.
Well, before we go talk with Didi, with Vincenzo, I'm gonna come on over here and take a look at this, which is actually a picture of Johnny. So now we've actually got a quite clear view of what Johnny looks like. Then if we come over here, I can turn off their stereo again, but I'm not gonna do that. Then we've got a picture over here of what looks like Cat and Johnny, I think. But let's see what Didi says.
They're so happy. There aren't any pictures of the bad times. These were in the basement. She only takes them out when Daddy's living with us. You know, in stories where the little girl is really a princess and her parents aren't really her parents? Does she still get to see them?
That's a really sad question, and that's makes you think, makes you stop and think. But now we get to see actually what inside of Didi's house looks like. So that's obviously that's her room, but this is actually quite a nice big area. We can't go in that other door, but we've got a picture of Johnny on the wall there. I'm not really sure who that is, but it's really cool. I haven't done any research on this, but I would not be surprised if that was one of the producers. When I first recorded this series, I thought it was a picture of Laura Ellis, who you see on screen right now. But as you can see, the picture on the wall here is quite different than what she actually looks like. But over here we have a collectible on the table, so let's see what this is.
Oh no! It's an eviction notice! Daddy says he's gonna pay all the bills when the circus is a big hit. Come on, I want to go find Vincenzo.
So apparently there's an eviction notice on the table, and I don't think you should ever show that to your kids. But let's see what all it says. Friday, June 29, 1923, eviction notice to Catherine Malankaya from Law Offices of Dewey and Howe. Dear Miss Malankaya, I represent Mr. Bailey Reeve, owner of the residential building at 2 Des Moines Street, which you are currently inhabiting. Per the judgment by St. Clair Municipal Court regarding non-payment of rent, you are hereby directed to vacate your lodgings on or before July 14 at 5 p.m. and to leave behind all furnishings belonging to Mr. Reeve under penalty of conversion. If you are still at the property on this date, bailiffs will be instructed to remove you and your belongings. Please do not contact Mr. Reeve personally anymore. All communications regarding this matter should be directed to me at his office. Very truly yours, Dewey and Howe. Well then, so she has less than 2 weeks, approximately, to get out of the house. So that's not good at all. That doesn't bode well at all. And we've got another collectible on the table here, which is a letter from Cat to Child Services. Please don't take my daughter away. Dear Hilda, I am writing about your letter about my daughter Dorothy. She is not mentally disturbed. She has an active imagination. Many little girls have an invisible friend. You should hear some of the philosophical conversations she has. She's just thinking out loud is all. I'm sorry Didi got out of the house on the 22nd, but it's not my fault. She could have snuck out even if I was home. I bet you know other children who sneak. I have given her a good talking to, and she promised that she will be good from now on. I also closed off her escape route. Please don't take away my little girl. She is the only thing that keeps me from going crazy. Aw, poor cat. We've got other posters on the wall and whatnot, and a nice piano. But let's head on out and see the city.
I don't think they'll hold you. You'll have to go through shadows.
And so apparently the city is crumbling right outside of Didi's house in the front. So let's go ahead, shift in the shadows, and now you can shadow dash through thin ones. So if we start here, you can just hit B right when you're right up against them, and you just dash right on through. You can do it while in the air too. So A and B, and then you're all the way through. Before we go into the big top, which is where we're meant to go, I will warn you, I'm going to be failing a lot on a very specific part of the platform that's coming up here. If you have seen my original contrast videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm going to try to do better than I did last time, but I can't promise anything because I'm not good at platformers. I've never claimed to be, so we'll just see how this goes. But anyway, let's go into the big top and see what's going on.
Hey, Vincenzo. Ready for our big night? People are really excited.
You're gonna have to give them their money back.
What? We're sold out.
You haven't paid me.
I got the money. We're selling out. You'll have it before the show.
Even if you do, I can't perform here. Your circus is a disaster.
It's coming together.
Your puppet show about the princess is missing the princess. You've lost your hot air balloon, and where did you get that pirate ship? It is a broken down piece of junk.
Come on, Vincenzo. It's opening day. There's always a few wrinkles to iron out. Look, I'll get it all fixed. No problem. Consider it done.
All right. But don't think that I will be some sort of shiny bauble that lures people into your scrapyard.
He's so mean.
I'll get it fixed, I promise. Or I'm a dead man.
I'm worried about Daddy. He always says it's okay, but those gangsters really hurt him. We have to fix the circus, so Daddy will be safe. Come on, it's this way.
That sounds like a good plan. We'll go ahead and start fixing the circus. Before we do, you can actually hop on back here where there is a luminary hiding, the first of 15. And there's actually a collectible here that I didn't know about for the longest time, which is actually a picture of Johnny's family. We're counting on you, Johnny. Love, Sal. So that's a blackmail picture, because apparently they know how to get into Didi's escape window and take a picture of them. And this picture is actually from the night we started playing, from the night Didi snuck out to go see Cat sing at the Ghost Note. So that's a blackmail shot. But let's go ahead and head on down and see what's going on with the circus. Before we go down, I am actually going to head on over here. This is the part of the platforming that I absolutely do not like. What you're meant to do is you're supposed to hop onto these shifting shadows here from the shifting stones, and then make your way through onto this one, and then onto shadow dash through this platform here. But that always happens. I always shift out. Of no fault of my own, it just shifts me out, and I can't do anything about it. So I'm just gonna try my hardest to make it over to the far end. And once you get that luminary at the end there, then you're all set. It's all done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So I'm gonna try my hardest to do that again, and hopefully it won't rack up the death counter too many times. Let's see here. Hey, did it right the second time. Perfect. Now, I've never successfully made it back. So let's see if I can do that. And I've never been able to do this successfully either on recording or in my personal playthroughs. So let's see if I can. Nope. Nope. It was close. But it just respawns you on the front here, so, you know, no harm done. So now, as we start out here, there are actually 3 places we can go. We can go to the big ship over that way. Then there's 2 other attractions down this way here. I'm actually going to start out at my least favorite and go work towards my favorite. So, my least favorite is actually the puppet show. So we're going to just walk on through here, and you see we've got a shadow memory of Johnny getting punched. Which is, you know, unfortunate, but if I can get this angle right. There we go. No! Oh, shoot. Ended before I got up there. But there's a luminary up there that I'm trying to get. There we go. Got it. Whew, that was a pain. Now we can go up that way, but that leads to my all-time favorite part of the circus, so we're not going to do that yet. I am going to go through here, and we're going to see what all the fuss is about with this puppet show.
Hey, has anyone seen the princess puppet? We can't really start the story without her.
That sounds like Daddy.
Darn! Where did I put her?
Well, in lieu of finding the princess, maybe we should become a princess.
Ah, there she is. Once upon a time, there was a princess who lived in a castle with her father, the king. The king loved her very much because daddies loved their daughters. Unfortunately, the kingdom also had an ogre who was eating travelers because ogres do that. So the king did what kings do and promised that anyone who slew the ogre would get to marry his only daughter, the princess, and become king when he died. The king's lands were very far away, and the ogre was very large, so only one knight showed up. His name was Fred, and he fell immediately in love with the princess. Fred was a brave knight, and he marched off the next morning, singing a brave song as loudly as he could. After several days had passed, the princess got to wondering what had happened to her future husband. So she set off into the forest to look for him. The princess tracked Fred's footprints through a strange wilderness full of scary sounds and hidden dangers. Chasms filled with razor-sharp bamboo. Fortunately, she was a very brave princess who loved adventures, just like you. She used her wits to get past unexpected obstacles. She came to a wide river filled with snapping crocodiles. She couldn't even swim. So what do you think she did? Unfortunately, she fell in the water and drowned. Wait, that's not what happened. She came to a wide river filled with snapping crocodiles. She couldn't even swim. So what do you think she did?
She ran on top of their heads.
That's right. It was a magical forest where the plants seemed to know each other. She had to use magic mushrooms to get high or up.
This is the one puzzle in this whole thing I find extremely irritating. They can never quite time it right. Ugh. And it shifts you out when you don't want to be shifted out. Alright, so I'm just going to wait for these to time out. I'm going to hit this far one first. So this one. Then that one. Then that one.
Unfortunately, she impaled herself on the bamboo. Wait, that's not what happened.
Alright, we'll try that again.
She learned to use some bendy tree branches to fling herself across a patch of deadly sharp bamboo. As the sun was setting, she came to the giant ogre's campsite. And there, the princess discovered that the ogre had captured Fred and hung him from a tree as a snack. The ogre did not appreciate visitors at all. Even Fred seemed a little embarrassed to see her. But the princess was a woman of action, And she was nimble, and the ogre was clumsy and easy to taunt.
What's a taunt?
That's when you make fun of someone. You should never make fun of people, but with ogres, sometimes you have to. And so the princess tricked the ogre and rescued Fred. Fred didn't feel too good about it.